I know you've waited a while for a win over the Swans as a coach, but how much sweeter than that?
No, it was a great team effort, wasn't it? I thought it was a really balanced performance. We knew Sydney would come out hard, and we had to match that. And I thought our guys did a fantastic job. The way we started the game, just really pressured them as much as possible, and then we were able to get the game on our terms. And it was a really even, balanced performance across the board. I'm trying to think through who our standouts were, and from a coaching point of view, that's the most pleasing part of the performance was. Everyone contributed, and there was, we were talking about executing, coming in. There were some important roles we had. We knew our opposition had some real weapons, and our guys did a great job. For majority of the game, probably the start of the third, again, expected them to come out, and they did. But to then answer that and kick a number of goals in a row to put the game away was really pleasing.
Can you pinpoint a specific area in that first quarter where you were able to find momentum? Because, obviously people look at contested ball clearance numbers, and Swans were pretty even with that throughout the night and led quite comfortably by the end of it. But where did you find that you were able to find that advantage over time?
Yeah, it was probably the intercept game was the key. It was wet weather footy, which is interesting considering it's such a nice day. But it was, the dew on the grass made it a wet weather game, and I thought we were really strong off the intercept. So we gave Sydney no chance to score on us when we made mistakes and turned the ball over, and then I thought we went back at them really well, and obviously we converted well in the end. I don't know exactly what the score was, but our ability to put the ball through the goals and that scoreboard pressure, it just adds up and up as the game goes on. So really pleasing that our forwards are able to, and midfielders are able to finish our work off.
Pressure was outstanding today, especially in that first half. Was that something you were hammering on?
Yeah, it's something we hammer every week. But I think when you come to the SCG, and as you mentioned, in my short time as a coach, we haven't had a lot of fun up here. We've often gone away disappointed and played against a team that's probably beaten us up. And so tonight to come prepared for that, but then execute was the part that is the most pleasing. And we'll sit down together shortly and have a discussion through that and make sure we enjoy it, but understand, it's you've got to bring that level every week when you play the best sides.
I guess not having the fun at this venue last time you were here was August, and that was a loss. What do you think has changed in that time?
Since last year?
Yeah.
Well, there's a fair bit that's changed. Organically we grow, our group get more experience under their belt, 20 games when you come back the next year. But then we also bring different people and players, both staff and players, into our club, and we continue to grow and develop our people. And I think that we've been really confident we're heading in the right direction, but we understand that it's not linear. We're not going to keep getting better and better every year. We had a drop away last year where we maybe lost focus on what we needed to, and this year we're back playing some of our best footy, and it's amazing how much of a reward that can be for our group, and they get a lot of belief in that. And now it's a matter of trying to stick to that, but understand every week just gets harder and harder, and we still got a fair bit to learn.
You obviously know the Swans pretty well as your club. Are you surprised at the lack of resistance your team faced tonight?
Oh no, I thought we brought contest as good as we had done. Mindful it's tough to do that every week, but I thought our guys were outstanding tonight. So we did bring pressure to a team that they want to move the ball off half back, and they want to take you on through the corridor. And I would say if there's been, let's say there's been 8 games up here over the last 6 years we've played them in, they've done that to us more often than not. So it's nice to get one on our terms this time.
Joe mentioned last year's game. Obviously, a bit of the narrative this week is around 24 last year. Rashelli gets dropped, and it's a big moment for him, and he's come back really strong to start this season. Obviously 5 goals last week, 3 goals, and set up another 2 tonight. How impressed have you been with what he's able to build on, especially in terms of his consistency this season?
Really, I'm more so proud of what he's been able to do. Not surprised at all though, and that's where a decision made late last year was made for a reason, because we have a really important player at our footy club and a future leader. He's actually a current leader, and at the time he was going to be a future leader, that we knew would respond well to it. And we live by certain values as a footy team that it's not just writing on a wall. It's the way we live. And so, unfortunately, if you go away from those, we're going to have to work our way through it. But I think, as a coach and as a friend, I knew we'd be where we're at now. I was really confident in that. He's done some incredible work through the break, and he will be a future leader of this footy club.
Obviously, firmly entrenched in the top four now on the back of that win. What sort of challenge are you setting for the players? What's the key over the second half of the season now to keep this form and keep this consistency up?
Well, first key is we don't start talking about the second half of the season because we've still got a couple of games before the bye. So we just lock in now, as we've done every week. It's off a learning from last year where we tried to focus on blocks of games. This year we're locked in. We're locked in now on Brizzy. We'll enjoy this win and we'll stick together tonight and talk through that. But we'll move on pretty quickly and try and find a way to bring something similar next week, because we're going to have to do that and some against probably the best team in the comp, if not one of them.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for that.